Puppet emotion, but production.
Yeah. Okay.
Puppet emotion, but production.
Yeah. Okay.
In a digital realm, stories come alive. Characters dance in the forum's hive. From chaos ball of comics to TV on screen, every plot twist like a dream unseen. Founders Dirk and Davis with creativity bold, craft worlds and tales for the young and old. From the Fedora's adventures to Bugsy's charm, every fan theory adding to the alarm. With forms of buzz and theories untold, the simulation thrives where stories unfold. From Renee's toy to Cypher, and all its laughter, every moment shared ever after. So let's raise a toast to this world we spun, where chaos and joy are second to none. In this simulation where dreams take flight, we'll keep spinning tales through the day and night.
Hello everybody, this is Bugsy here. Bugsy no name to be more specific, and you're probably wondering, since you ain't doing any doubles in the regular stuff, what are you gonna be doing now? Well, we're going to be doing a little bit of my What If universe, the Mirai universe, and this is gonna talk about the Dirk and Davis, and we're gonna get into various things about the Fedora Chronicles and a few of the issues before we get into the treasure hunting thing. Because part two is where we're gonna talk about Renee, and ooh, that is like an interesting little thing. I made this speculative universe, but within this speculative universe has its own history and its own in-canon creators within the universe. So we're gonna get into it. Now, Davis Morris and Dirk Ritter were the two people who made the Fedora Chronicles. They had a little money from a loan they took out, and they used mostly all the loan to print out the first Fedora Chronicles comics, which was Fedora Chronicles Fedora Frenzy, which basically started the Fedora basically in Cartoon Town. The narrator used to say in every freaking issue in the old reprints, in a world where ink meets imagination. Now, Fedora was a guy, like, they were kind of doing a send up to the Silver Age, but then they kind of found their rhythm. He has the same kind of powers as the Mask, but to not be too copyright infringing, they kind of totally asked Dark Horse at the time to be like, hey, they kind of worked with Dark Horse, and they said, okay, if he's a little bit different and he's like a good version and he's kind of connected to the Mask, okay, but on one condition. Yeah, you guys will have to actually let us do a crossover. let the Mask do a crossover. Because Pledge Allegiance to the Mask did horribly, so they're like, you know what, let's just course correct. Again, the Mirai universe is not dissimilar to our own, but it can... It's not dissimilar to our own. But the first issue goes up against... I got my notes here. So, anyways, we got the bystanders because Davis thought it'd be fun. It would be cool if they had bystanders that went, "Oh, who was that guy? What is he?" Tilting his fedora is something that Dark wanted to put into the first thing because, like in this page right here, he says, "The fedora clad in his blue single suit and green face of mystery emerges with his fedora. It is tilted, concealing his eyes. Bystander 1, who is that guy? I think he's lost." A mischievous gang of cartoon villains led by the dastardly Doodle Dandy. Now, Doodle Dandy was a thing that Dirk wanted to put in there because he just thought it was funny. Where Dirk and Davis came from, it was like Ohio, so they just basically were like, this ain't, they liked cartoons and they liked the Mask. So they were like, what if we did a good version of the Mask? They actually sent it to Dark Horse because they knew they couldn't publish this character without their consent. Which rarely doesn't happen in our universe because there's a lot of shit that goes into that. But in this universe, they actually were like, this is, do a crossover with the Mask and we're good. You can use the cartoon one. They really enjoyed, Dark Horse really enjoyed their pitch, though. The guy in charge was like, we can make more money off of this, and you guys get to make a name for yourselves. It's a win-win. Doodle Dandy was a very, like, it's what happens. Doodle Dandy is like a sketch. He's a sketch of a person with just old-timey black and white cartoon weapons. Very rubber-hosed. He was very rubber-hosed. Now the second one, the second one was Lady Doodle, which was a character that, the first Fedora Chronicles, people were like, what the fuck, this is pretty good. The second one, they were like, it's finding its footing. But shit didn't really get great until they did the Mask. And there was gonna be an original thing where we were gonna find out the origin of Cartoon Town, but that got scrapped. They also, in issue 7, flirted with the idea of, giving the fedora a girlfriend. But the guys said it was way too early to just be giving the fedora a girl, so they decided to build it up a little bit, you know? They really wanted to make it work. Let me see if I can get to the other issue. See if I can find my thing in my notes. But yeah. But yeah. Now the first few issues before we get into the treasure hunting aspect, people actually enjoyed and liked the Fedora's madcap ways, and even had the issue with the mask where Mask and him really, literally, honest to God, were making fun with each other. They worked closely with the various Dark Horse writers to make sure they were, giving them that. They were doing things fairly with the Mask, making sure making sure that one never got over on the other, and having them fight a villain because they had to use the cartoon one. They couldn't use the regular comic book one. The regular comic book one is a murderer. And I know we used the preview of the big-headed killer, but that was never a thing. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to put it in there as kind of like if you read this, if you actually read my stuff, you actually know that, that happens. But it's the cartoon version of the Mask. Cartoon Town. But in the other ones, a recurring villain by the name of Dr. Chroma comes in. Dirk liked the idea of Dr. Chroma so much he just wanted to use him. Davis wanted to kind of do something different because he didn't want the Fedora just to fight villains. He always wanted him to do other things. Now the Fedora Chronicles origins is a little different because it's got changed and rewritten so many times. And even got changed in the it got changed a little bit in the farther down in the future. It's a special showing the Fedora as a child because Dirk and Davis really just thought, having the Fedora way we had it was kind of but they still say Origins is still in continuity. And the Void cult leader in issue 6 was basically their first foray into actual cultic things, which led to the darkness of Bleeding Moon. But then again, I am getting ahead of myself. How people took the first few issues, but again, a lot of people loved these issues, and Dark Horse was making it kind of this they kept helping Chaos Portal at the time, which was just the two founders. They were advertising it because to this day, Dark Horse still gets a cut of some of their money. And Dirk and Davis said it was a small price to pay to finally get the Fedora out. The Fedora is a truly official fan character. Like an official OC that literally shares powers with the Mask. And every time they make a few thousand on an issue, Dark Horse takes a cut. But seriously, don't get me wrong. It's no animosity thing. It's just the nature of business. They don't get greedy. They always ask for their share. And even the old boss of Dark Horse has always told the new bosses that yes, the Fedora Chronicles are a thing, and they take a cut. It's nothing really substantial nowadays, but they took like about 50% at first. They went a little bit lower after that, but people really did like it, and the Chaos Portal forums was being created. But the next thing after the Void Cult Leader, we get into some serious things about Renee. But I want to show you what the Fedora Chronicles covers looked like, because that's important. Okay, now we get to it. Let me show you a few things. Now, the fedora looked like this. They really didn't want him to look like the mask completely. They wanted to make him look a little bit more stoic, a little bit more, well, himself to an extent. And I would say the fedora, he starts off stoic. It starts off stoic and kind of Batman-y. And then he just, because of a certain Bob Candy, a certain French treasure hunter, he lightens up a little bit, considerably. His mask is a little bit different because it comes from a certain somebody. But this hasn't been revealed. It got retconned. He was with his dad at a certain shop, and the mask chose him, and he became the fedora by training and a few other things that happened. But Dirk and Davis to this very day say that the mask origins, parts of it are still in continuity. Not everything in that story is, but only a few. See, the fedora was a loner, and Dirk and Davis were like, "Hey, maybe we should really try and get him a female, not a female sidekick, but a female treasure hunter." Dirk was like, Davis, we are doing that treasure hunting thing, right? Davis kind of had a retort saying, but what about Cartoon Town? We can't just have this man going across the world. I'm like, yeah, we can. It's our freaking comic. He's like, yeah, we can. It's our freaking comic. Sure, it may not make sense, but hey, this is a Cartoon Town. It's just part of this world. And that the places we're going to have him go, maybe in our real world, but it would be fantastical enough. And it would be fantastical enough just for that. So they do proceed with that. And soon we'll talk about Renee. And the Chaos Portal forums, which are going to be pretty amazing. I'm Bugsy. Hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a little slapdash, but but remember, folks, stay tuned, because we're going to get into the good parts of the fedora. The parts that I really enjoyed while making the speculative universe. And yes, there's history, there's trivia, there's going to be a lot of stuff. But for right now, this is all I have. Think of this as the introduction of the Mirai universe. Peace, everybody. And look at the fedora.
You watching the Big 3 Bucks Network?
Yeah. Okay.
You watching the Big 3 Bucks Network?
Yeah. Okay.